प्रभु की शरण जाना अच्छा है। उन्होंने मुझे मधुमक्खियों की तरह घेर लिया था, वे कांटों की आग की तरह शीघ्र ही बुझ गए। संत मिखायल से प्रार्थना। हे अति शक्तिशाली महादूत संत मिखायल, लड़ाई के समय हमारी रक्षा कर। शैतान के फंदों एवं कुतंत्रों के विरुद्ध हमारा रक्षा केंद्र एवं सुरक्षित गढ़ बन जा। हम विनम्रता से प्रार्थना करते हैं, स्वर्गस्थ सेनाओं के अध्यक्ष ईश्वर की शक्ति से शैतान तथा सारे दुष्ट भूत प्रेतों को नरक में ढकेल दे, जो इस संसार में आत्माओं के विनाश के लिए घूमते फिरते हैं। हम यह प्रार्थना करते हैं हमारे प्रभु क्रिस्त के द्वारा। आमीन।
Pope Francis, personal representative for this beatification ceremony. I'd like to welcome all of you who are joining us today. Whatever time of the day you're joining us from, whatever part of the world you're joining us. Some of you joining through the Vatican media channels, a warm welcome to all of you. Some joining through the Vatican News web portal, our Vatican News live events app, or the Radio Vaticana app, or our Vatican News English YouTube channel or Facebook live feed. To those of you joining us through television, you have the privilege also of seeing these images coming to you live from Assisi. These are people sitting outside the Basilica as strict COVID protocol is in place. To those tuning in through Catholic TV, Shalom World TV, EWTN, Salt and Light TV, Atmadarshan TV, and Catholic Network. And still others tuning in through radio. To those joining us through Luminous Radio, welcome to you all, and to all other radio listeners from other local radio stations picking up this broadcast. And to those of you joining us through various digital platforms. My name is Sister Bernadette, and it is truly my pleasure to be able to provide you with the English texts and translations of this beatification ceremony. We'll be hearing a lot about Carlo Acutis. He did not grow up in Assisi, but in Milan, but loved to go on vacation here in Assisi and incarnated, we might say, in his own way, the Franciscan spirituality, and it was his desire that he be buried here. And so initially he was buried in Milan, but at a certain point his remains were brought here to Assisi, not in this church, but in the Church of St. Mary Major, where his remains lie in the Shrine of the Renunciation. It's the chapel that recalls when St. Francis of Assisi renounced his entire inheritance and also stripped himself of his rich clothing and left his clothing in the hands of the bewildered bishop. Carlo Acutis, also from a well-off family, who lived as if he was not wealthy and spent a lot of his allowance on the poor. In fact, when his funeral took place, there were many, many people that his parents did not know who attended the funeral, people that he spent time with on the streets, many of the migrant workers whom he had not only helped, even materially, but by giving them a listening ear. We see the procession now forming outside of the Basilica. We now take a moment to dispose ourselves and to enter into this most beautiful ceremony in which we will begin to understand this new blessed who is probably the first who, as his legacy, has left a website. Yes, you heard me correctly, a website. And we'll be talking more about that later. These beautiful images of the sky here. It is about 4:30 local time here in Rome. Many bishops forming this procession, a wonderful day in which Italy once again has the privilege of acknowledging one of its sons as having reached the heights of holiness. Carlo died at the age of 15 of acute leukemia. Here we see a beautiful image of him, an ordinary Italian young man, curly hair. The procession has now entered the church, the basilica. As you hear, we are having some audio problems.